Welcome back to the Nakama podcast. It's me and Cruz.
Yeah,
This is the start of a new year as of this recording, unless this comes out 2 years from now, which it could.
I should come out today.
I mean, you don't know that. You could
The
die right now.
right, but the reason I said let's record at noon is because I know that even with upload times, I should hopefully be able to get this out before we both have to go to work.
Damn
Yeah.
crazy. I have like some. Oh, it's probably the TV.
Oh, glare? Yeah,
Yeah, from
that's
my
that's
from my
gonna happen
game.
from the monitor. Yeah, not a problem.
Damn. Anyways, as of this recording, we are still doing the Nakama Podcast Awards. You can still
Yeah, the
cast
anime
your
awards.
vote. There's a bunch of categories, apparently more than 20, even though I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure we said 20 at one point.
we did say 20 at one point, and then I recounted and realized that we had missed the most obvious category of best anime, and that needed to be in it, so it kind of bumped us up to 21 instead of 20. But
Yeah.
there was a time when we were brainstorming this where there were like 28 different categories, and we just clipped a bunch or just didn't go through with a bunch of them.
Yeah. So, if you're hearing this, go vote. There's going to
Yeah.
be a link to go vote. We're aiming for everyone in California to vote. That's the goal.
That's oh god, that's got to be like what 32 million people at least.
I don't know.
I
I think
don't
that's a
I
good
don't
starting point.
yeah, I don't know what the population of California is, but I mean I would that's oh, I was close. I was close. 37 million people. 37
So,
million votes is apparently what we're aiming for.
yeah. That's a lot of votes.
That is a lot of votes.
That point we gotta run for president. Actually, I don't think neither of us are old
No.
enough. I think you have to be
Uh
what, 36,
35.
38,
It could be 30.
35.
I will be the next time. Actually, no, I won't. The next time that people start running for president again, I will be 34, but technically speaking, I will be 35 the year that I would start being president if I won. The only problem is for the first like 4 months I would be 34, and I think that
Hmm.
disqualifies me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a bunch of categories to vote from. We got original anime, best sports, which honestly I feel like the sports one was kind of lackluster.
Sports, I think for this last year, a lot of people were really banking on that second season of Blue Lock
Oh,
to
Blue
really
Lock.
be the sports anime of the year, and boy, did that really disappoint a lot of people. Like pretty bad,
Mm-hmm. We
pretty bad.
also got best cosplayer.
Yeah,
We got a bunch to
we
vote
got best
for.
cosplayer, and Jacob was almost a part of the vote, which is
That's crazy.
insane
That's
because it should
crazy that
never happen.
Jacob was gonna beat Dark Virgil, bro. That's wild.
Well, I believe they were tied. I think, if I remember correctly. But also, I just mentally count Jacob's votes as lower because I assume there's a certain subset of people who voted for him to be funny and
Probably.
not in any real serious ways. But in any
Hmm.
case, he didn't make it through the final rounds, and that's what we're doing right now. Is that final round of voting extends through January 31st. So
Hmm. If you haven't voted, go vote. We'll also be posting stuff on Instagram. If TikTok's still around, there's been so much talk about it not being around after
yeah,
Friday, right?
no, after Sunday, I think.
Oh, is it Sunday?
I think it's by the 19th, which I believe is Sunday, because I think the 20th is Monday. I'm not good at doing
Mm.
math in that short term, but I think it's Sunday.
Yeah,
But
Sunday.
but but also I believe today they're trying to push through some kind of legislation to just extend the deadline a little bit further. And then if that does happen, you got Trump coming in who is very, which is weird, very anti getting rid of TikTok, even though I believe in his first term he did try to get rid of it and it just didn't go through. So
Yeah,
it
who
seems weird that
knows?
that's the other way around now.
Yeah, I just find it weird that there's a lot of people online who are like, "See, guys, it is a Chinese spying device, and it's like, okay, and what's the
I mean, not
point?
just that, but have you seen what people are moving to now that
Yeah,
TikTok doesn't exist?
actual
Actual Chinese.
Chinese TikTok.
Yeah, like actual Chinese social media that is actually run 100% by the Chinese government. One of them
Mm-hmm.
was like,
I can't even pronounce it. I saw a
well, I know
couple
one of
of
them's called
our,
Red Note. Like that one,
yeah,
that one's fucking. That's in English. I can say that shit, all day.
yeah,
The other one is in Chinese. A couple of cosplayers that we follow were like, oh, I guess we're over here now. And to me,
yeah.
it's just I totally get
Jimmy,
it. If your business is on there, you got to make a move ASAP to try to, pull people from one place. You can't lose that audience. But from me as a private citizen who doesn't necessarily like, I do the anime dispatch on TikTok. If that goes away, I'll do the anime dispatch on Spotify and YouTube. I don't. I'm not champing at the bit to jump onto like 100% confirmed Chinese state sponsored social media. Like
yeah,
that
me neither.
feels
I think that,
restrictive in a lot of ways I don't like.
yeah, I feel that that's weird that, again, a lot of people, and then I even had a couple of people today in my IRL life being like, see, I told you it was a Chinese listening thing, and it's like, okay,
So yeah,
again, and it's like, who asked, bro?
but the thing, because like to an extent, right? If you know what you're interacting with has ties to the Chinese government and you do it anyway, that's on you. That
Yeah,
you know. And for me, the trade off with TikTok was like, are they taking my information? Probably. Are they taking information that I wasn't willingly giving to Instagram and
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Facebook and Twitch and
I know a lot of people are like, oh, they're
YouTube?
using your info, and it's like all of these
That's what they
apps
all do.
use our info. Yeah,
It's not even
the
just social media apps. It's like your streaming services. The reason why you can get access to a library of thousands of different shows for $7.99 a month is because they're 100% selling your information every chance they get.
mm-hmm, a
That's what's keeping
hundred
the doors
percent.
open. Your $7 a month maybe pays payroll for the people in the front office, and that's it. Like your
Yeah,
information is the most valuable thing. Everybody's selling that shit left, right, center. Like again, my issue with the Chinese ones that people are moving to is it gets away from the regular market of people's data where you're being sold to different companies that are primarily advertisers to I'm probably now, if I were to make that interaction, that information is probably now going to just be stored on Chinese government servers. And also, more importantly, they don't follow the same set of rules that we generally do in the United States. Like even though American companies, like if your account gets banned or locked or something like that, they can be really difficult to work with. They at least have to pretend like they're trying to help you. Chinese government doesn't have to do that shit at all. They'll shut down
yeah,
a business on the suspicion of them maybe possibly being involved in, like, it's a much more strict totalitarianistic system that, like, I don't want to buy into that because like we know posting things on the internet, your business can be done tomorrow for any reason. But when you're talking about working with them, it kind of feels like that's a little bit more of a likelihood than
yeah,
Instagram
hundred
or whatever.
percent. I just don't get why people like, see, I told you, and it's like, I never asked,
Yeah, I never
nor
said it
did I
wasn't.
care. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Sure. But also, great thing about America, they did, if it was a Chinese spying device the entire time, goddamn, did they package it in a way the market wanted?
yeah.
Like,
The end of the day, that's what they use our data for, to see what you're watching and see
yeah,
what you want to buy.
that's why they went hard with TikTok Shop.
Yeah.
Is just how do we keep you on here buying shit through us? And
Mm-hmm.
that just like judging off of my Christmas purchases this last year, fucking worked. Everything I
Yeah.
got for a couple of people were just like TikTok Shop, TikTok Shop. Not because I was being lazy, but because they were sending me, hey, this is the stuff I want, and it was all TikTok Shop stuff. It was T-shirts with cats and like just random crap.
Yeah. 100%. So
R.I.P.
That's the
TikTok,
great
I
thing
guess.
about America is I can go get McDonald's. It's terrible for me, but I can kill myself with that, and
Hmm.
that's my right.
Yep.
So that's how I feel about TikTok is if I am dumb enough to not secure my bank accounts, my social security, any information that I don't want out, that's on me and I should
Yeah.
be taken advantage of 100% because there's so many easy steps you can do to stop that from happening. Don't download the app. Just don't even have stuff with
You could
Wi-Fi if
use it.
that's
You can use it
really a
from a web
concern.
browser.
Yeah.
You don't actually need it to be on your phone, jacking all your information. You can use it on a web browser without making an account.
Mm-hmm.
If you choose to do that for your convenience, that's on you. You're
Yeah.
agreeing to that end user license agreement.
Mm-hmm. But moving on from the TikTok things, the new season is starting up for anime. So we're jumping
Mm-hmm.
into winter 2025, even though we're in January. And probably episode
That
threes won't start dropping until at the end of the month and beginning of February.
Yeah, a lot of them won't. Some of the first ones will start dropping next week, but to my knowledge, only like two of them are going to actually be on episode 3 next week. So
Mm-hmm.
I doubt we're gonna hop on any of them until at least the week after.
Yeah, we'll probably try to do the once per episode thing again that we try to do with CJ, with Don the Don, and just if you and him just don't follow through with it, then I'm gonna have to do it Solito at that point
Yeah.
because
Well, the thing
we
is,
did episodes.
you and I had continued recording Uzumaki, right? Something happened where we
No,
had to redo it.
yeah,
Like
we ran out
there
of
was a
time at work.
genuine, yeah, there
We
was.
ran out of time for a break at
Mhm.
work, and then we had to stop it. And then I don't remember if we didn't talk about episode four, at least not recording
No,
in any
not
capacity. We
recording,
just
but we
talked
just
about it
spoke about
just
it over the phone.
passively.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But that one I
But yeah,
remember was like a genuine something got in the way. I forgot if it was purely
yeah,
work or if it was a technical thing
yeah.
or
It
something. But
was well, I think it was just work, and then CJ just being hella lame, and it's like, I heard online, guys, that the animation's real bad, so I'm not gonna watch it anymore.
yeah,
And it's like, okay, you're already halfway done. Just finish it, bro.
I will say, looking back on that one, just as an aside again, looking back at Uzumaki, yeah, week to week it was jarring to see the quality change. I still think overall what we got was a much better product than we've ever gotten related to Junji Ito as far as an anime adaptation goes. Like
Yeah.
that clears his other adaptations by like a the problem was the first episode looked too good. I think if the
Hmm.
first episode came out at shittier quality, 2, 3, and 4 would not have been an issue at all. We would have just been,
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's wonky, but like that's the show. But we got a really beautiful like intro that just there was no follow through on.
Just like I told you guys, I feel like it being terrible near the end is the point of Uzumaki, where it starts off like, oh, this looks pretty nice, and it just goes downhill. So
I think that could
I
have been an approach. I just
I
to
that's
me
how I
it
rationalize it is this
yeah.
is Uzumaki Curse actually coming to our IRL life.
Yeah, no, to me, it felt like it sort of accidentally did that. But had it done it on purpose, I would be on all the message boards being like, "Oh, you guys just don't understand." Blah blah blah
Right?
blah blah. This was an artistic decision, but I mean, it wasn't. They just had to keep moving the production to different studios, some of which could not
Hmm.
keep up.
Yeah. So we might start that up
I would.
again, which
That
if
was
we
fun.
do, it's gonna be Sakamoto Days, because episode
I'm
one is out
so
on
for that
Netflix
one.
right now. And episode two will come out, I think, this Saturday.
Yeah, I think Sakamoto Days is one of the few that I've kept up with actually like buying the mangas and reading them as the I don't read them ahead. I don't read them before they're collected. I don't go online and be like, "Oh, let me check out the new chapter." But once it's in a volume, I buy it and then I read it immediately. And then it
Yeah,
goes on my shelf and collects dust because I'm a terrible book owner and I don't actually um, keep them in good quality.
yeah, that's probably what we're most likely gonna try to continue to do. If not with Cruz and CJ, maybe one of you fellow Nakamas can fill that void because we do need other outside perspectives because the three of us, me, you, and Peralta, do tend to lean in different directions.
I mean, that's kind of what you wanted from the show when you started it,
Yeah.
was to have people who weren't gonna agree with each other and just gas shit up the entire time. And I definitely know if you put me and you and CJ in a call together, it will be me and CJ gassing up the same shit because we kind of there's a lot of overlap in what we like. So yeah, having some outside people would probably be really, and we talked about
Hmm.
that before with when we were doing the Patreon, was like, what if that's a thing that we do where people can voice their opinion on things, but I don't think I know I never went through with actually trying
Yeah.
to get that
We
going.
never have. So
Yeah.
this is a new year. It's the Nakama podcast. So we might as well try it. So if any of you listeners want to chime in on any of these episodes, just reach out on Instagram or email Cruz.
Yeah, actually, it would be emailing the show. The show has its own email, but everything will be in the description. The ways that they can
Yeah.
contact, say, hey, we would love to do this. It'll all
Hmm.
be right there. Just click it, fill out whatever information I've listed for you, and then that'll be it.
Yeah. So
Probably
to
even put it
move
on the
on,
website. Hmm.
yeah. So to finish up all the news, that I think that's it. Just remember to go vote. You
Mm-hmm.
have half a month left because I think we're on what, on the 14th
We're on
of
the
this,
15th.
the 15th. So you got 16 days
16 days to
to
go.
cast your vote.
Yeah.
And then that's when we actually got to start recording all the results and stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because this is definitely not a traditionally structured award show. Mostly because that would be cost and time prohibitive to
Hmm.
do. This is definitely a lower budget production, but God, is it going to look cool? Like I'm excited for what it's going to look like at the end, because like
Yeah,
I
hopefully.
reached out to people. I paid for them to make graphics. Like there's a guy who's working on like the audio shit, like the little cues and stuff. Like it's going to be a little bit more involved than stuff we've done in the past. So I'm down. I'm excited to be on the other side of it. I'm just waiting for the end of February when I've done all the work and everything's shipped and out there and I can look back at it. Like that'll be a fun experience.
I guess. I'm not looking forward to the reshoots we're gonna have to do.
We're gonna have to do a few. We're gonna have to do a few pickups. I know that. I was actually
Hmm.
toying around with the idea because I was saying that like I would love for us to be able to do some BTS on this. I was
I
toying
don't think we
around.
can get the ban, dude. I don't know. I don't think we can get the ban.
I was toying.
No clue.
Yeah, but I definitely want to be able to, give the people a little bit of an insight as to how we're doing things. Because I think transparency is just good with award shows. I think it takes people away from, well, they're just giving awards to the things they like. This is clearly blah blah
Right?
blah 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 blah. Whereas we got all the numbers there. We can say, I'm not going to be doxing anyone and giving anybody's emails out, but I can at least show that they're coming from different traffic sources, which means the likelihood of them being, the same person voting 36 times is probably low. um,
Yeah, you would hope.
yeah, you would hope,
You
and
would hope they
just
have
giving
better
people an
things to
insight to
do.
that. I would hope so. Some people don't.
Yeah.
Some people don't, but you would hope. And we definitely have. I did add that little legal disclaimer that if we see anything that looks really suspicious, like if I do see it's the same email twice, or it's coming from the same place 4 times in a row, is probably the same person voting this many, we can decide this looks a little too fishy. Let's nix that one. But also, if for some reason I have to do that, the Excel spreadsheet that has all the information, I can just make a note of this person is also the person from this column and this column and this column, and that's why. So that way, it's not just like, oh, hey, why'd you delete a bunch of shit? It's like, oh, we deleted a bunch of shit because it was fishy, and here's the explanation as to why we thought it was fishy.
So yep, don't forget to vote And which of these animes that we totally watched forever ago do you want to start off with?
We totally watched it forever ago. How about we start with Negative Positive Angler? I have a feeling you watched that one sooner?
I watched both of these.
No, no, no. I'm saying that that was the more recent one that you saw.
I saw both of these today.
I was trying not to let out the fact that you fucking watched this shit before, like
Yeah, I
the
watched the
time
shit
right beforehand.
t
But
today
yeah.
at
Well,
like 6 in the morning.
Jesus, it's like a total of what? Not even 3 hours of content?
No, I think it's like what, and 2 hours?
Maybe 2 hours. Yeah,
Three?
two because they come out to be roughly 20-minute episodes each, and so probably two and some change. You watching three
No, it's
episodes
like
of each one.
around, yeah, it's around three. But yeah, we can start with negative, positive, fisher,
Angler.
angler. Did you write any of the names? Because I sure as hell did not.
You know, I didn't do that at all. So
Come on,
I don't.
dude.
I was just gonna be like the main guy, but you know what? I have this wonderful invention called a computer that I'm right in front of. So let's see what fucking Wikipedia says his name is. His name is, oh yeah, I wasn't gonna remember this one. Tsunehiro Sasaki. I'll just call him Sasaki. But yeah, do you want to give the description of what this thing is about, or do you want me to do it?
Yeah. It's about this duder who's into debt. He goes to the doctor one day because he's super depressed about his life being kind of trash. He gets some kind of cancer. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it
Brain
was like,
cancer.
was it?
That
Because I
they
was like,
did like the first. I think it's they give away a lot of the exposition in the first like straight up minute of it, and what you see when he's at the doctor, you don't. I don't think they ever say what it is,
yeah, I don't
but you
think
see
so
the
either.
X-ray, and the X-ray is of a brain with a
Is it?
bunch of holes in it.
Oh,
So I'm pretty sure it's
I
brain cancer.
I was like, dang, this guy got colon cancer. Because that's what
Hmm.
I thought it was. It was
No, I'm pretty sure it was. If
stomach
I'm,
or
I saw this like. So you see, I actually watched this shit ahead. I saw this like I don't know 2 weeks ago, but if I remember correctly, it was his brain because I remember reacting to it being like, "Oh, that's bad." Because anytime you hear like a type of cancer or anything, there's that idea of like, they should hopefully they can cut it out, treatment, blah blah blah, get it out of there. Guy will go back to normal. But what I do know about people with brain cancers, even in that situation where they can get rid of the tumor, they can treat you, you're usually missing a couple of screws after because it's your brain, like it's the thing that controls your body, and now you have a couple of holes in it. And I remember having that, response to that image
yeah,
and being like,
they didn't say.
oh, oh damn.
I thought it was his tummy or his colon. But anyways, he gets told by the doctor, bro, you got 2 years to live. And then he's like, damn, 2 years. I don't care, even less now.
Yep.
It goes into the pachinko machines.
Just starts
Uh,
gambling.
yeah, he gets chased out by some loan sharks who, for the most part, are not terrible loan sharks. They're always
No, they're like,
portrayed as cutthroat, and these guys,
but they're also
they want
portrayed
their
as kind of
money, but
stupid.
yeah, they want their money, but it's like, yeah, you lent it, so of course you'd want your money back. But anyways, they chase him out. He accidentally falls into a river, and a bunch of random fishermen people pick him up, and they're like, all right, well, kind of have to hang out here until the boat comes. So just here's a fishing rod and try it. And he's like, no, I don't want to do this shit. And the girl, if we had names, I could, name people.
The girl is Hana. Hana
Yeah.
Ayukawa.
So she was the one that tells him like, yeah, you got nothing else better to do, so you should try fishing. And she kind of gives him the basics of how to cast your reel. But I want to say it's the pink hair dude who also tells him like, yeah, you want to pretend like that fish is you, so you can lure other fish to bite your lure.
Yeah. The
And
pink haired
then
guy, by the way, is named Takaki.
that guy seems like he's the romantic interest in this anime for sure. You would think it's Hannah, but I don't know, dude. Main
Is that what they
character,
were going for?
main character, bro, be blushing around both of them, so it might be
I
a
thought they were doing
weird love
they were
triangle.
sort of making him like a pretty boy for sure, but I wasn't getting a love thing from this from anybody. Like
Yeah,
I was
I don't know.
assuming, it would be like maybe the pink haired guy and the girl over here in the corner, and then you got homie with the cancer, and then you love for fishing over here, just trying to enjoy his last couple years.
No, because that's not at all. He doesn't like fishing. He's like, yeah,
Not
this is
yet,
kind
but
of
I mean it's a
boring.
fishing show. At a certain point, he's gonna.
I don't know. Even in episode 3, he was just kind of like, there's a million yen on the line. I'm going for this. But I'm getting ahead of myself. That's basically episode 1. The episode ends with him, the pink-haired guy, taking him home, and he doesn't have a home. All those eviction notices weren't just to kick him out, but it's because the building got torn down. So the second episode, he ends up working at the shop that the rest of these fishermen dudes work at. And he makes it a point. It was like, yeah, I hate fishing. Fishing sucks. Anyone who likes fishing is weird. And the boss is like, all right, you're hired. We need someone who doesn't like fishing to be in the shop so we can go fish and not close the shop. And that's when Hannah walks in again and she's like, yo, I heard you hate fishing, bro. We gotta fix that. And second episode, they go to a spot that has fish already in the little circle, and you use bait to catch them out. And at that point, he kind of like, oh yeah, I guess I don't mind it. It is still kind of boring. And then he runs across some old friends of his, and that's when you find out that not only is he in debt with Pachinko, but he's also in debt in the stocks because he was like, yo, I'm gonna make some quick money, guys. And I guess he was doing really well, and then out of nowhere, he just started going down, and then that's when he felt like his life was getting out of control because his schooling also wasn't that good. Like he was good
Yeah,
enough to go to college, but not good enough to continue. So he feels bad because his parents are still paying for him to go to college while he's in crippling debt. And then the third episode, like I mentioned, he runs away from everyone, and then they just happen to find them going for the hound shark that there was a million yen reward for.
yeah,
And then that's kind of when he tells the pink hair dude, like, yeah, I have a lot of debt. My life kind of sucks, and I shouldn't exist. And the pink haired dude, you get a quick flashback of maybe his mom that died. Maybe she committed, the Minecraft thing, and he's like, all right, I'll take care of your debt, but you owe me. Because your life is worth living, and he doesn't tell anyone about the cancer in his colon, so I guess if you're interested, you're gonna have to continue to see,
yeah.
if they fix his colon or not.
It's definitely one that I would want to continue. I really like this one a lot. One little detail that I was unclear about: does he still owe money to the pachinko guys?
No,
I
the
thought that
pink-haired
first
girl.
episode. No, no, no. I'm talking about like
Oh
even
yeah,
up to that point. Because that first
well,
episode, the pachinko guys are chasing him out because they're the loan sharks because well he hasn't paid up. But as he's running away, they're like, oh shit, you won the jackpot, and the thing's going off, and they're waiting there because he won the thingy, and they're like, whoa, wait, dude, what are you doing? Because he's fucking out the door, and then they chase him down. But I was unclear because like he won presumably a lot of money. It's a jackpot. How much like I was under the assumption that at that point they're chasing him to be like, dude, you won back there, but he just thinks, oh, they're gonna beat the crap out of me, so let me keep going. I got like the idea for me there was they both, there was like a miscommunication there because homeboy just saw them and bolted. But he won, and apparently he won like a big thing. They were making like a really fucking big deal out of it, which is the reason why I was like, oh, they also come off kind of dumb because like, yeah, when they show up, they're like, oh, your money, and then as soon as they see it, they're like, oh my god, this is crazy. Hey, everybody, look, and then chase him because he runs off. But at that point, I don't know if he owes them money. Because there were three of them, only two of them chase him. One of them stays at the machine.
no,
So
all three of them run.
All three of them run?
Yeah, just the boss is the lady with the mask. She just can't keep up.
Ah, okay. But
Yeah,
like
I saw that too. I'm not sure. Maybe he owes more than the
he
jackpot
might
is
he might
because that jackpot might be like, yo, you pays 10 to get in and you got 1,000, so
I
that
mean,
could be a thing, but I'm not sure.
yeah. I just to me that interaction felt less like oh he's still in danger and more like he just doesn't he's unaware of the fact that he may have just dug himself out of because the show does that a couple of times where it's like oh, this seems like his luck is getting worse but it's not. He's taking it as if his luck is getting worse, but it's actually like his life is getting better in this period of time. He's just not accepting it. And I feel like that
Yeah,
would be like the first point where that would happen. But
yeah,
I'd have to watch that episode again to really,
yeah.
you
It
know.
definitely seems that he does have good luck, and he either lets himself get carried away in it, or he is expecting way more than what is in the grasp of reality. Because when he was doing good with the stocks, and like
Mhm.
all his friends are like,
His
"Yo,
problem was he didn't pull
bro,
out.
yeah," or he overcommitted and then shit just went down.
Yeah. Which is also
So,
just like a super common problem with people who
mm-hmm,
gamble.
mm-hmm.
So that's like the problem with people who gamble is, they start winning and they don't stop because they're on a roll.
Yeah, so far in this anime, it is about fishing, but he doesn't seem to enjoy it yet.
No.
He is a natural. He like does some hand movements that the boss was like, "Yo, you sure you don't do fishing?" He's like, "Yeah, dude, I've never touched this shit a day before in my life." So, I think he might at the end up liking it, and they're probably going to do the thing because his outlook on life has gotten better. That his colon cancer is now gone by the end of it.
I don't think so. I think this is a
I think
thing.
so.
And my prediction is he's still going to die at the end of it. I think it's his attitude that's going to be different, right? Like I think if they're going to do like a big thing, he's going to get the really big fish and they're going to do some sort of memorial for this guy who turns out was actually like a just a master fisherman, but he's going to die. And I think it's just going to be he's going to go from dying in debt with no home and nobody who really cares for him to dying with friends around. And I think that's going to be, if I had to hazard a guess, I don't think Homie's making out of this.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're either gonna get a happy ending where it's like, well, yeah, the cancer, it is gone, or they're gonna be like, actually, we fucked up and that wasn't even your cancer results. It's
See, I could
actually the
see
pink-haired
them.
guy.
That'd be crazy. I could see like that part of like, well, maybe they were wrong, but I have a feeling it's more going to be that thing, right, where it's like he does a really cool fishing thing right before he dies. They do like a little memorial thing. You get that shot of him with all of his friends around his hospital bed. He's finally smiling when he dies, and then they're gonna do that like last shot where the two people, the pink haired dude and then the girl, are fishing, and then the same kind of fish the dude caught, the really big fish, is gonna go like, and they're gonna be like, that's bro, he's out there now. His soul lives on. But that's the vibe I get from this show. Is the ending I think is gonna be bittersweet. I don't think it's gonna be like really happy.
I guess we'll have to
We'll have
see.
to see. I mean, the guy's got 2 years to live. That's got to be two seasons. you know,
Who
maybe
knows?
four. But
It's
unless they
gonna
do
be
the
a
King
long
of the
time.
Hill thing, where it's 10 years, and at the end of it, they're like, "That was a crazy year."
Yeah, but overall I give this like a solid 6 out of 10.
Damn.
Would not recommend just for the fact that the animation for the fish are CG, which is
Yeah,
kind of
a little
weird.
wonky, which is so weird because you get that shot at the first episode when he falls into the water, and it's so clear that they could animate this guy
mm,
moving through the water. He's struggling to breathe. You see all the bubbles going out. The colors are really pretty. Like it's like a really nice shot. And then the next time they do anything underwater is just like pachinko fish. There you go.
yep. I don't think enough people care about fishing to really be interested in it, and I
Insane.
also feel that the dude is kind of a terrible person, where he's
Oh, for
like,
sure. Yeah.
I don't like people who are like, everything's going bad against me. I never get anything good. I never win anything. It's like, okay, I don't want to hear that shit, dude.
But I mean, also that's like standard anime protagonist. Like outside of
Hmm.
shonen, they're all kind of whiny. Actually,
Yeah.
even some of
So
the ones in shonen, fucking Izuku Midoriya would be best friends with this kid for sure.
yeah. So and then again, I feel like fishing is such a weird thing. I
I mean, it's not
don't
weird for
think
them. I'm sure fishing is huge in Japan, like bigger than here, because
maybe,
it's got to
but
be a more prominent sport, given that that country is 100% coastline.
yeah, so that was the other thing that I was just thinking about too. I was like, yeah, I wonder if their fishing laws are different because I know in the first episode
Yes,
they were fishing on that man-made structure. So here in the States, you can fish there if you can fish on a man-made thing and not have a license, but if you decide to go off the coast of a beach, you need to have a license or the game wardens are gonna come and be like, "Yo, where's your license, bro?"
but also it's not that
So,
hard to get a license. It's like
no, heck no.
what, like 80
You just
bucks?
no, I think it's like 40, 60.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
And that's just if you, yeah, and I think that's just for a day. I think, yeah,
Yeah.
you might be right. It might be 80 for the season, but you want to go fishing for a day, I think it's like $40.
But I mean, even then, like you go and you get it like day of. I mean, worst case scenario, you get it the day before you start fishing. But like, it's not like it's like, oh, you got to fill it out and then you got to wait in the mail and the blah. No, you just go pick it
Hmm.
up. But
Yeah, so
no, I know
I don't
for
think,
certain their fishing laws are different, Sal. We have a problem with their fishing laws. They keep fishing shit that we keep saying they shouldn't be allowed to fish. That's a huge deal in the middle of the ocean, Sal. The whole
yo,
whaling, dolphin. They also just fish too much of the bluefin tuna. For the population size of the bluefin tuna. I know that. I don't know if that's still a problem, but historically that has been a problem. That like, oh, you guys are cutting into what are basically like the reserves. You're making it hard for these fish to stay around longer. But bluefin tuna is
yeah,
also delicious. So
I was gonna say I don't know if that is a Japan exclusive thing
it's
because
not a Japan exclusive
the
thing. It's
spike
just
of sushi lovers
yeah,
enthusiasts has gone up tremendously in those last
yeah.
10 years. So
I mean, we get into arguments with this stuff with Japan, China, basically every other country that we share an ocean with. We as the United States, we like to impose our laws on other people wherever possible. But at the very least, I do know that our fishing laws are stricter. So
yeah,
it is entirely
100%.
possible that they don't have some of the same considerations that we do.
Hmm. What about your cruise rating?
See, I'm actually going in the opposite direction. I really fucking love this one. The fish thing, like the animation of the fish, didn't really bother me. Like it was odd again for that same reason. If I've seen you guys in this show animate underwater, just keep doing it. Especially like a weird decision to decide to do a show about fishing if you're gonna phone in the fish part. But overall, I really really fucking liked it. You're right. The main character is a bad person, but I think that that's the point because the other characters are not. The other characters are stellar. Pink haired dude is like the chillest fucking guy.
I say I think the pink haired dude's the only one that's really likable because the blue haired girl Hannah is kind of annoying.
No, I like her. She's annoying for sure, but I think she's the kind of character that like kind of needs to be there, right? Like you need if you're gonna have the overly negative guy, you need someone else on the other side. Because the thing is, the main guy's negativity is also incredibly annoying. But I think the point is to pull him out of that. But I'm actually gonna go the other way, dude. I think this is like for me, this shit might be a 9, dude.
Yeah, I also
I had
think
a lot
that
of fun with it.
fishing is like going those people who think they like museums, so when they actually do it, they're like, yo, I actually don't like going to museum. I think this shit's actually boring. I feel like fishing is in the same pool of things where people like the idea of fishing. They think it's gonna be real cool, and then they actually get to it, and they're gonna be like, yeah, this is kind of boring.
I mean, there are people who like fishing in museums.
There is people, but not everyone, and
True,
that's what
true,
I'm
yeah,
getting at is
yeah.
everyone thinks, oh yeah, I love to go camping. I fucking put me under the stars. I'll live off the land. They actually go do it, and they're like, Yeah, this kind of sucks. I have no
That's me and Fernanda.
reception. The ground hurts my back, and I want to go home.
Yeah, me and my wife are that
So
exact way. I'm the one who's
so
actually likes sleeping in a bag, and she's the one who's like, "Well, let's take the car and we'll plug in all of our electronics
yeah,
and we'll be outside."
uh,
But it's like
and I
that's not
feel like
camping.
that, and I feel like that's what fishing is the
Yeah,
hardcore people who actually enjoy it will not be watching this because they're gonna be
because they're gonna be
doing
fishing.
exactly. They
Yeah,
might put it on as like a podcast, like it's in English. I'll listen to this as I fish IRL, but for the most for me, the average person, they like fishing in Animal Crossing,
yeah.
and that's the extent of what fishing is like. And fishing IRL is nothing like that. Everyone's episode one is a great representation of what 100%, not 100, like 90% goes down.
Mhm.
Maybe one of you guys out of your group of five friends might catch something, and everyone else is like, "Well, at least it was a nice day, guys."
100%. A lot of people are going to go into fishing where their experience with waiting for a fish is waiting for like 3 minutes on a video game and not six and a half
Mm-hmm.
hours. But yeah, but I also think that this kind of thing is one of those, it'll introduce people to the idea and maybe might get a couple more people to be like, you know what, let me try it. And maybe out of that subset of people, there will be people who really do like it. But I think you're right that like it falls in the same categories like hiking. A lot of people say they like
Oh,
hiking,
100%.
but then they go on a hike and the entire time they're dying and they just lie about it afterwards. Oh yeah, we should do this again, and then you never hear from them ever again
Yeah.
about it. So like there's a subset of people. Like I know Adrian actually likes hiking cuz that guy will fucking hit me up. Oh, we should go hiking this weekend, and it's like I literally can't make plans anymore for anything, so we'll see. But then there are a lot of people you go hiking with them and then you never hear them ever mention even stepping outside
You're
again.
right. They're like hiking. I don't know what that is. Is that some
Yeah.
French word that
But
I'm just
it was
not? Oh,
raining 2 weeks ago, so it's probably gonna be muddy still. And I
yeah.
heard they
I
they
think
saw a mountain
there's
lion there,
coyotes.
so
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I think it might
There's
be
like
hog season, and we should probably avoid that.
we got a couple of rednecks just shooting people. I don't know, dude.
Yeah, it's actually my
But
cousin's quinceanera that day, so I can't.
yeah. So moving on to the next one. Was it called Makihiko
Mayonaka
Punch?
Punch.
There we go. Go for it, Cruz. I did the other one.
So Mayonaka Punch is about a girl who was a part of a YouTube group. It was her and a couple of friends who started off doing videos where they would like check out like abandoned places and they were just a YouTube group like what you would see on YouTube. But you get told that the main girl got kicked out of her little club and is now flying solo. And later on, you find out that it's because she punched somebody that they were like, okay, you gotta,
Well, she punched the other girl.
yeah, you gotta,
Yeah,
skedaddle, even though
skedaddle.
she's the one who actually formed the group in the first place.
Well,
So
see,
she
that's.
decides,
I'll
huh?
just wait. Go for it. No, go for
Oh.
it. I'll
So
wait.
she decides that she's gonna start doing content on her own because she kind of doesn't know how to do anything else. Her first video goes very poorly. Her announcement that she's going to be doing something herself. You see her and she's scrolling through the comments as they're coming in, and not a single one is positive. They're all just shitting on this poor girl, and she's freaking out about it. She decides she's going to mimic what their group did to get popular and go explore an abandoned hospital where she encounters a vampire who has apparently been dreaming about her for a little bit. And so, yeah, she encounters a vampire. The vampire corners her on a rooftop. She sort of inadvertently falls off the rooftop, gets caught by the vampire. And then they come up with a deal, right? Like the girl's like, "Hey, vampire lady, you've been going off about wanting my blood. I need content. So how about in exchange for content, I give you my blood?" And then the vampire lady's like, "Okay, dope, sure, yeah, let's do that." Takes her on a flight all around the city, and from that point, that's kind of the deal, right? As they introduce more vampires that this vampire lady lives with, the constant thing is, I'm only here for content, so figure it out. And then you've got the other vampires, the vampire lady in charge, who's like, nope, we can't show your powers. Great, we'll do some videos without your powers. You guys are just my friends now. But the entire time she's still trying to sneak videos of them using their powers. It's just that. It's just a girl encountering some vampires and deciding to start a YouTube channel with them, or use them for her YouTube channel to try to get back to the same level of fame that she had beforehand, because it's really all she knows how to do. Oh, and the
Uh,
Mayonaka punch of it is Mayonaka um, is relating to, I guess, Night, and then the punch part is because she punched her co-star. That's what got her ejected from the other things. So the vampire lady comes up with Mayonaka punch to as their YouTube channel name, and that's what they go with.
mhm. I missed out on they did do the content with the
Mm-hmm.
vampires. A lot of people thought it was special effects.
Yeah,
Like you said, the mom was like, "No, you guys can't be doing this shit." So I think they either deleted the channel or they just removed the videos.
I
And then
believe that was what caused them to restart it, because before that,
yeah,
I think she was just posting it on her own thing, and then
and
the
it was
head
doing
vampire
well.
lady was like, "No," and then after that is when the vampire girl comes up with Mayonaka punch as their thing,
Yeah,
and
and then
at that point is where she promises, okay, we won't do videos around your powers, but then she still has her camcorder, which is it was a weird decision for me. Like,
makes sense.
I mean, it makes sense, but like, do people still use camcorders?
I'm pretty sure. Again, not everyone probably spends that much time on their phone to record that, and a lot of people still want that amateur look and
True,
feel to things.
true. If you're going
So
for an
it
aesthetic, a
makes
camcorder would
sense.
be good. But I would
Yeah,
just assume you're either using your phone or a DSLR, especially how cheap DSLRs have gotten. I was at Best Buy like a week ago. They have a DSLR there that you can buy for like, I think it's like $190, which is like, it's like a Rebel T7 or something like that. And it's like, that's crazy. When those
yeah,
things
no
came
clue.
out, they were like 500.
Just some of the things I wanted to point out is, yeah, that's her whole thing is she would come up with the idea, so that's why she feels that she can't be kicked out of the group,
Yeah.
and which I thought was kind of a weird approach to it. It was just like, oh, I come up with the idea, so you guys have to keep me around. But at the same time, it didn't seem like she was that popular when it was the three of them on there.
I mean, also just the idea of like having somebody be the idea guy. Like you hear about that a lot in terms of people in Hollywood, right? Like
Oh,
there are a lot of people
100%.
who go to like half write a script. They just want to sell an idea, and it's like you're not going to make a career out of that, because ideas are kind of a dime a dozen. It's
Mm,
figuring out how to translate that idea to anything that could be put on a screen in any way. That's the important part. So like, yeah, if you're the one coming up with the ideas for your friend group, that's probably because they're just like, I shall take care of it. But if you're not there to do it, it's not like they don't have the creativity to figure it out.
yeah.
They'll figure it out. Like, yeah, the first idea might be a little bit off tone from what they normally do, but the adjustment's not that hard. Like, they'll figure it out. People
Hmm.
take over
Yeah.
other people's products, like projects, all the goddamn time. The same guy, writing your Sunday comics is not the same guy who started them. Same with TV shows.
Yeah.
Those things switch showrunners basically every season, and you don't really notice like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
the concept of an idea guy just doesn't. That's not a thing.
Hmm. I thought that was weird that she was harping that up. And then these are definitely the most different vampires I've seen in media in a while.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised they were popped up on camera. Apparently, they actually don't hate garlic. I thought that was the
No,
weirdest
it's
thing.
it's it's not
And
that they don't hate garlic. It's that garlic doesn't kill them or
yeah,
ward them off. It's just like stronger for them than it is. Because the thing is, like, if you wait up, because there's a scene where they eat bowlfuls of garlic. If you, as a human person, ate a bowl of garlic, you would have an adverse reaction to it too. Like, that's too much of a very strong flavor. To them, I think
yeah.
it's just worse.
To me, it seemed like it wasn't like a weird side effect, like intense flavor. It's like almost on the same level as you're drunk or you're high. Like it's in
Mm-hmm.
that weird in between where they just start acting weird
Oh yeah, for sure. Because they just
because
start like
that's what,
spouting
yeah.
out weird shit too.
Yeah, Fu, the one with the green hair, just started like acting drunk. What's the other one? Shiki, the blonde-haired girl. That one just started spouting just random stuff. Like, did you know? Air weighs more than water, kind of stuff.
Oh, to your
But
point about them showing up in cameras thing, it's not addressed in this show, so that might not be the explanation, but the TV show What We Do in the Shadows has a whole point where they, because one of the guys in the show is not a vampire, and it's like, well, he's asking why do they show up, and their explanation was that vampires used to not show up in cameras like on photographs or anything like that because they would use silver plates as like the internal mirrors for them, and silver and vampires just don't, you know. That's why they wouldn't show up, is because they would use silver, and now they don't. They just use chemical dipped, glass to make these mirrors. There's no silver present, so you can take a photograph of a vampire. And maybe that's the same thing as maybe it's just now the technology is, basically silverless that you can videotape these
that
vampires
and
in front.
thought it was weird that they have like neon wings.
Yeah, they're like energy wings. It's fucking because they're not physical
Yeah,
things. They're
and
like
all of them have different colors. I just thought all of them would have the same, but I
there's
guess
like
not.
weird beams that they're like lightsaber wings.
Hmm. Yeah, this one is one that I liked, but not till episode 3. I think the first episode's almost the same issue. The main character kind of sucks, like
Yeah,
real bad, like real bad. It's definitely one of those things where it's just like, no, I made this, so I have to be in it,
a
and
real
you
big
guys can't
crybaby.
do it anymore. Yeah, so that was super annoying. And then episode 2, like sure, it introduced more of the cast and what their boundaries are. But I also think the goal of as soon as we reach 1 million, you can just suck me dry, leave me dust is kind of like a low bar
Yeah, that
to
part,
reach
like
for.
that's. I mean, it's not nothing now, but like it's not as impressive. It kind of reminded me of that moment in Austin Powers, right? When Doctor Evil is like, "Oh, I'll do this for $1 million," and they have to have that explanation of like that's not a lot of money anymore. And then that's when he comes back with the then 1 billion. That you know, fucking Markiplier video gets like six
Dude,
times that in
yeah, I
like
was
a
gonna say,
day.
yeah, 100% Markiplier's videos get what 1 million in the first 6 hours. Boom, 1 mil, 1 million people have seen it.
Yeah. So like yeah, it's a like a high bar for it's a high benchmark for a lot of people, right? 1 million
Yeah,
is a high benchmark for a lot of people. But like if it had
for
been like 1 million subscribers, sure.
I'm pretty sure that's what they're going for because I know on the third episode they're like, "Look, guys, this video with the garlic got what 120,000 views." But yeah, I don't know about subscribers. I don't think they show that off. But at the same time, 1 million for people like us who actually have jobs, that's a lot because
Yeah, for sure.
at least 8 hours of the day we are doing something a completely different, no involvement. All of them are unemployed. So 1 million seems like if you really put your mindset to it and you have a little bit of a disposable income, I feel like 1 million should be, not a week, but good like half a year, as
I
long as
think I
you're.
think within a year you should be getting, if it's the only thing you're doing and you're doing it consistently and trying to make better content every time. I don't think a year is an unreasonable
No, I don't think so.
timeline. And then when you think about it, like right, like now you're also faced with this concept of I now know vampires are real and I'm hanging out with them all the time. You're now artificially limiting yourself to like yeah probably like 6 months to a year of
Hmm.
hanging out with them, and then you just die.
That's not even like a good goal. It'd be like, yep, this person reached 1 million, mysteriously died.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There's a
Yeah, you
bunch of
get what? Like you might
YouTubers.
get a rainbot video out of that, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, by the
But
way, for context, I looked up Markiplier while we're having this conversation. He put up a video yesterday explaining his, evacuating the LA fires thing. It's been a day, and he has 4 million views on that fucker, and it's not even him playing a video game. His
Mm-hmm.
video game videos are getting like between like 7 to like 11 million. So
Yeah, I
I
don't
feel like
know.
a million's a lower bar than you should shoot for in the circumstance where you're gonna fucking die at the end of it.
Yeah, when you're willing to die for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely didn't like the first episodes because of the main character. I get think another six. Would recommend to Peralta because she would hate it.
She probably would, yeah. I don't think it's your speed.
No.
Yeah. But I mean, also, like, this is a very. So, for me, the reason why I really liked it from Jump Street, from episode one, because I think it does have a lot of those problems that you're talking about. I think, from, like, a pacing perspective, episodes one and two, you really could have just smashed those together. Because you get the same information across both of them, right? Like, right at the beginning of the first episode, you get the information that she was part of a group, she got kicked out. But then, like, half the conversation in episode two is I was part of a group and then I got kicked out, and that's why I'm here now. Whereas, like, just mash those together, and you're fine. You could really get rid of one of those scenes, and you're not trotting over the same information again. But the thing that I really, really liked about it is the actual, like, directing of the anime feels very American to me. Like, generally speaking, from what I've observed from anime and just Japanese TV in general, is they still very much approach it from the perspective of like the way that you would perform like a play. Like it's very here's everyone, them themselves, the characters moving is very exaggerated, but the camera doesn't do a whole lot of crazy shit outside of like a fight scene. It just here's characters and they're interacting and there's two talking heads and they're going blah 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 at each other. This one off rip, right? You you get those shots of, she's freaking out in her room or whatever. And it feels very normal. It feels very much like you're filming a stage play. And then she gets to the hospital that she's going to check out, and as soon as she mentions, well, we got permission to do this, for our first episode. What if I just do it again? And she's like, because she's blackout fucking drunk at this point. They kicked her out of a bar. She's so drunk. The camera starts doing stuff with that, right? Like while she's having that whole conversation, she's a little bit like this, like a little askew, and you're like, okay, that's a really neat trick of the camera to like reinforce the idea this woman is not sober. And then as she's going through the hospital that's abandoned, and there's a vampire in there, like it's set up in that way. It's not a surprise to you, it's a surprise to her. You keep getting those shots of like from like a particular angle where it's like, oh, is this where she's hiding? Is this where the vampires are going to be at? Is this where the vampires going to be at? Is this where the vampires going to be at? Until you finally get to the point where you actually see her. And it's another one of those shots where the girl's coming into a room, and then you see this like just dark silhouette in the foreground, and you're like, that's it. That's the vampire. And then you get the shot of the vampire. Maybe it's not a very, I shouldn't say it's an American way of filming, because it's a more Western way of filming, right? That I just, like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, they're doing some different stuff here from like a directorial perspective that I actually really like, because it's not as common to see in anime. To see them not just play with the characters, but to play with the camera and the way it's moving through things. Because you also got a couple of those, like when she's going down the hall, you get that shot that, like, if you were doing it with a camera, with a physical camera, you were filming this, you would do the thing where you'd put it on a track and pull back while you zoom in. So you get that nice, like, the outside of the character gets really pushed out, and the character becomes this really large character in the middle of it, to give you the sense that something is approaching, right? Like they're being chased. Almost like what they did with Evil Dead with the little rapey tree. When you saw the camera moving through stuff, there were little things like that where it was just like, okay, there's some thought into how we're seeing the characters, not just. And so for me, from that perspective, I was just like, I'm like immediately into what they're doing here. And the second episode doesn't do any of that at all, because it's like it's a bottle episode of them just being at the it's not a castle, it's a mansion or whatever, where they're just hanging out. They're farting around. They're not doing anything really. And then episode 3, once they really start, they establish the Mayonaka punch and they start doing shit. You start to see a little bit more of that, where it's like, okay, they're starting to care again about how they're presenting this information. And to me, that was my favorite part. From that perspective, I would still say this was maybe like a 7 out of 10 for me, because like it's a perfectly fine anime.
Mm.
I like it more than most of this kind of anime, right? Like, it's definitely a little bit cutesier than I like. I dig the art style. I don't dig the main character. This is definitely one of those ensemble shows where the other characters are doing a lot of the heavy lifting. But there was enough in there that I did think it was better than average. It's just I don't think I would, you know. If I were to give this thing a lot of points in one direction, it would be for the art direction of the thing, not necessarily the story or the characters or the music or really anything else. But I dig it. I'd probably give it, yeah, like a 7.
Solid 6 out of 10, but would not recommend unless you're into vampires.
Yeah. I might recommend this to Jacob because he likes the cutesy shit. But like beyond that, or actually probably Houston too. Beyond that, like I would have to know more about you as a person before I'm like, oh yeah, you'd like this. Otherwise, like no, you might not. Mm,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even think they nailed the influencer route that
no,
well. Because
that was a
if
problem
anything,
too.
this should show you what not to do. You should not fixate over comments, and you definitely shouldn't think, especially if you're gonna be in a group, it's collective. It's not solo. I can't, be like, all right, guys, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go be Michael Jackson and just start my own shit,
Yeah.
or Justin Timberlake. No.
I mean, I also think just the benefit of being in a group is it's also a help to you because if you don't have an idea or you
Yeah.
can't do a thing, well, guess what? Shit's still going to be able to come out because you got other people you can lean on.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a solid 6 out of 10. Would not recommend. Definitely. I want to say one of my least both of these were my least favorite animes of 2024 for sure.
I loved Negative Positive Angler. Mayonaka, again, aside from that direction, I'm not. There the other anime that God, PA Works is the one who did this one. The other anime they did, Nare Cheer for You. That one I did really like that one. I think that one has a lot more to it than Mayonaka Punch does. Mayonaka Punch looks pretty and there's a lot of good ideas in it. It's not anything to write home about.
But I guess that's the end of the
Yeah.
episode. Ending notes is don't forget to vote. If Cruz's projection of this being out, you're still in voting time,
Yeah.
so follow the links there for that. We might record something out next week because we did not go over much of fall
Yeah.
of 2024, but I guess it just depends. But definitely be on the lookout for what was it called? Sakamako Day?
Sakamoto
Sakanaka?
days.
There we go. I said it right
Yeah.
the first time.
I did a video on
Um,
the Dispatch about the historical figure of Ryuji Sakamoto. So the Sakamoto name is in my head.
oh, but
Yeah.
yeah, we might record something on episode 1. I already watched episode 1. I don't think you
Same.
have.
No, I saw it. I saw it
Oh,
immediately.
oh,
We could
well,
record that shit today. I mean, we probably won't have time, but
no.
theoretically speaking, we could.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, don't forget to vote. And I don't know what else. Is there anything else we need to say?
I mean, right now, I think the Anime Awards is really the thing we're going to be hammering. So, nakamapod.com/anime awards is a really good way to get there. Link will be in the description, though. So just click it, fill it out, be a part of this thing. It's coming up real soon, faster than you would think.
Yep, 16 days as of today.
Uh-huh.
But
Crazy.
that's it for the
Crazy.
episode.
Yeah. See you guys.